What it do, Graveyard Crew? It's your boy Ash back at it again with another video. I know I haven't been in this chair for a minute. I currently got a mildew problem going on in my recording room, and I don't have enough towels to dry it out. But that's no excuse. I'm back on the bandwagon again. We back at it. Graveyard Crew. Got a videos for us to react here today. Got a video for us to react here. You know what I'm saying? Got a video for us to react to. Please. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hope y'all been doing well. I know I have. You know what I mean? But yeah. Run my intro, let's go. Whoa. So, in the spirit of NFL free agent week, I want to talk about a player, a special player. This video is called This will change how you see Lamar Jackson forever. Right? Max Crosby went to the Baltimore Ravens. In exchange, we lost Isaiah Likely and Tyler Linderbaum. Isaiah Likely, shout out you, bro. I'm glad you went to the Giants with Harbaugh. I hope you actually I hope you do something out there. I fuck with you heavy. Tyler Linderbaum. Fuck you, greedy ass nigga. Ain't gonna lie. Ain't gonna lie. It's too many things for me to really talk about in the thing. Y'all can follow my Instagram though. I'll be talking about it on my story. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video, man.
Lamar Jackson is about to sign a record-breaking deal really soon. He's broken more records and has more accolades than most can count, but he's still missing one thing: a Super Bowl ring. Every time critics wrote off Lamar Jackson by saying he couldn't play the position or that he was just a product of a specific scheme, he went out and shattered something. Sometimes it was a record, other times it was a narrative, but the result was the same. His entire journey from Pompano Beach to the NFL record book stands as one of the most incredible stories in the history of the league. By the time we finish this, the way you look at his game is going to be completely different. Lamar grew up in Pompano Beach, Florida, where he was raised by his mother, Felicia, who took on the role of a single parent. When parents say she put in the work to help him reach the pros, they mean it literally, because she used to put on football pads herself to run drills with him in the backyard.
Y'all don't understand, bro. Like, what is this? Y'all don't understand, bro. Growing up and like seeing clips of this man. You know what I'm saying? Clips of this man on YouTube and stuff like that. Or like watching interviews of bro. And they have like his little like clips going on during the like little news interview and everything, bro. To him going to Louisville, bro. Lamarvelous.
Everything he became on a professional field afterwards started right there with his mother. Coming out of Boynton Beach High School, the recruiting services didn't see a superstar, ranking Jackson as the number 409th overall prospect in the 2015 class. He wasn't exactly a blue chip recruit getting blown up with calls from Alabama or Ohio State, which left him with two real.
Like I was really in Florida watching this man play. You know what I'm saying? I was like, big bro, let me on the field. Throw me one. I'm 100% glazing right now. This never happened. I'm on my Tyler shit. But it 100% happened, bro. I'm telling you, this is really what happened, bro.
Offers to consider between Louisville and Florida. The Gators told him he would have to likely redshirt, but Louisville promised him a chance to compete as a freshman, so he chose the Cardinals and changed the face of college football forever. During that freshman year, he showed flashes of talent, including a 106-yard rushing performance in his very first game, and 5 total games where he crossed the century mark on the ground. But the real explosion happened in 2016, when his sophomore season became one of the most electric stretches any college football player has ever produced. He threw for over 3,500 yards and rushed for another 1,500, accounting for 51 total touchdowns, all while starting the year with 8 scores against Charlotte. Even in a loss against Clemson, he put up 457 yards and looked like the best player on the field, leading him to become the youngest Heisman Trophy winner in history. He followed that up in 2017 by throwing for 3,660 yards and rushing for another 1,600. He finished third in Heisman Trophy voting that year, despite putting up numbers that would have easily won him the award in almost any other season. The NFL was definitely watching his every move, but the thing is, not everyone was sold on his style of play. That skepticism was about to follow him all the way from the combine to the green room on draft night.
Like, before we really continue this video, let's look at the what was that, the 2018 draft? Yeah, this is it. Like, if we're really keeping it a band, bro, look at the names on this draft. Oh shit. Look at the names on this draft where you got Baker Mayfield, fire, Saquon Barkley, Denzel Ward, Sam Darnold just won a ring. Hold up. Josh Allen, Roquan Smith, Minka Fitzpatrick, Vita Vea. They got my nigga Tremaine Edmond up there, bro. Derwin James, Yair Alexander, Rashawn Evans, DJ Moore. Yeah, and Lamar down there at the bottom. But hey, bro, it really worked out. You know what I'm saying? Got Fred Warner up there. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. This class was really stacked. If you really sit here and look at it, this class has like class was stacked, bro. But to be said though, I'm glad Baltimore got Lamar though. You feel me?
The 2018 NFL Draft is one of those moments that looks completely different in hindsight, especially when you realize 31 picks went by before the Ravens finally moved. 4 quarterbacks were taken before Lamar Jackson even heard his name, with Baker Mayfield going first overall and Sam Darnold following at 3. Josh Allen went at 7, while Josh Rosen went at 10. Yet the Heisman winner who
We don't even gotta talk about that nigga Josh Rosen.
had just put up back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons as a QB was still sitting there. The criticism wasn't just about his mechanics or his accuracy. Bill Polian, who was easily one of the most respected talent evaluators in league history, publicly suggested that Jackson should switch to wide receiver to survive in the pros. Multiple teams reportedly asked him to work out as a receiver during the combine, but Lamar's response was a simple 4-word shutdown. I'm strictly a quarterback. Baltimore finally traded up to grab him with the 32nd overall pick, which was a very
Look
last
how they
selection
try to
of the
do
first
my nigga,
round,
bro.
right before Philadelphia was about to go on the clock. You're welcome, Ravens fans. GM Ozzie Newsome had him on the board as a
It said Philly was about to be on the clock. Oh, damn, could you imagine if Philly took Lamar? I ain't gonna lie, Philly would be kind of nasty, nigga. I ain't gonna lie. That would have been a little nasty. Howie Roseman building around Lamar would have been a little nasty, gang. I ain't gonna cap to you. Philly, y'all know I fuck with you. I just don't fuck with Jalen Hurts.
QB from day one because the Ravens saw the potential that everyone else seemed to miss. And Lamar was about to promise something to Ravens fans that night.
Get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that.
Lamar spent most of 2018 back
We still waiting on it, nigga. I'm gonna keep it so real. We still waiting on it. But Lamar, don't believe that we don't believe in you. We believe in you 100%, Lamarvelous. Action Jackson, we 100% believe in you, bro. Get that ball, bruh. Get that ring, gang.
up Joe Flacco, but when he took over midseason, he went 6-1 as a starter and rushed for 695 yards in just 7 starts. The Ravens saw enough to know he was the future, though it was a disappointing end in 2018, losing to the Chargers in the wild card. Some were even calling for him to be benched at halftime during that game, but they stuck with him. The Ravens handed him the keys full time going into 2019, and what happened next didn't just answer the doubters. It made every single one of them look ridiculous. The Ravens didn't just hand Lamar the starting job going into 2019, though. They actually tore down their old playbook and built an entirely new offense around his specific skills. Coordinator Greg Roman designed a run-heavy scheme that used Jackson as the central weapon in ways that the league had never seen before from the
Like, shout out Greg Roman, because, like, Greg Roman really in a way, open the keys to the door. You feel me? Like, I feel like a lot of niggas at that point in time, like, you had some shifty quarterbacks. You feel me? But at that time, I don't feel like that dual threat QB was really as prominent as we feel like it was, as we feel like it is now. You feel me? Like, I think what this was, he said 2019. We're just getting out of the kind of like gunslinger era. You feel me? And Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Peyton Manning, and Andrew Luck, and Drew Brees. Like, we're kind of getting out of that era where all these guys are retiring, but they still every year one of them is getting going, is gone. You feel me? Um, so it's kind of like now we're seeing these new QBs come in the league and everything. And for like, if you really look at it, it was Mahomes. You had Baker go out this year. Sam went out that year. Josh went out that year. A lot of the quarterbacks we see, not Mahomes, but a lot of the quarterbacks we see are have those dual threat capabilities. You feel me? Jalen Hurts, he even got some dual threat capabilities. There's not a quarterback in the league that really don't got some dual threat capability. Let me really think. Maybe Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. CJ Stroud. I don't know. It's really a mystery for real. I don't know why CJ don't run as he's like 6'3". Knock somebody the fuck over, nigga. Anyways,
QB position. What Lamar did with that freedom was genuinely unprecedented, and every game showed a player who was playing a different sport than everyone else on the field. He finished the year with 36 touchdown passes and 1,206 rushing yards, leading the NFL in both categories as a quarterback in the same season. Only one other player had ever done that before, and that was Hall of Famer Steve Young back in 1994. Though he did it with nearly 1,000
I feel like there's gonna be somebody like, you're calling Sam Darnold a dual threat quarterback? No, I'm just saying the nigga got the capability to get the fuck out of it when he needs to.
fewer
That's
rushing
all I
yards
mean.
around than Lamar. He also broke Michael Vick's single season rushing record for a quarterback, which was a mark that had stood for 16 years, and he managed to do it with 4 games left in the season. The Ravens finished 14-2 because Baltimore had the #1 offense in the league, averaging a massive 33 points per game. When the MVP vote finally came in, Jackson received all 50 first place votes to become only the second unanimous MVP in NFL history after Tom Brady did it in 2010, becoming the youngest to ever win the award in the process. The eye test matched every single number on the stat sheet, and if you watch that Monday Night Football game against the Rams where he threw for 5 touchdowns and ran for 95 yards, you can see the league genuinely had no answer for him. Defensive coordinators were drawing up complex schemes all week just to get shredded the moment the ball was snapped. The 2019 Ravens were the most dominant regular season team in football that year, but then January happened and the conversation changed overnight. The Titans came into Baltimore as a wild card team and leaned on Derrick.
Ah, I'll never forget when they ran that nigga Derrick Henry down the fucking throat of our defense. That shit was crazy, Russell. Like, yo, this nigga they really just ran the ball. And this nigga Derrick, we had no answer for this nigga Derrick Henry. I can't cap. That's why I'm so glad we got this nigga on our team, bro.
Henry, who ended up running
How the fuck did I do this?
for 195 yards against a defense that couldn't get stopped when it mattered. Lamar would throw for 365 yards, along with rushing for over 100 yards, but he also tossed 2 interceptions in that game. And the
Damn,
offense
Lamar.
seemed to stall on crucial drives late in the fourth quarter. He definitely deserves some of the blame because the turnovers were real, and a couple of those drives needed to be finished. But the defense forced 0
For
turnovers
sure.
and couldn't slow down Henry at all. It
For
was a
sure.
full team failure on the biggest stage.
It was a
and
full team
somehow the
failure. I
season
can't even
was
cap.
totally about Jackson's limitations. That loss planted a seed in the national conversation that never fully went away. And can he win in the playoffs became the question that followed him into every press conference.
Yeah.
This is the origin of the playoff narrative, and it all
I'm
started
not
with
gonna
that
lie,
win.
bro. I really hate this narrative because, like, as a Lamar fan, I really can't say shit. The nigga hasn't won. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's won, but he hasn't won to the big game. Feel me? Like, go to the playoffs, you lose. Okay, you come back. Think I think the next year we lose. Then the year after that, we lose. Right? I don't like during COVID year, like 2020 to 2022, maybe 2023. I really wasn't watching a bunch of football. I'm not gonna lie. Right? But like 2023 to 2024, right? I think that's the year we lose to the Chiefs in the championship game, right? Then after that, yeah, last year we lost to the Buffalo Bills, and this year it was a Zay Flowers fumble, then the Mark Andrews fumble. Well, not Mark Andrews incomplete, and then it was this year. Trying to think. I know he lost, but like, oh right, Tyler Loop. How could I forget? Fuck that nigga Tyler Loop. But yeah, bro. Um, not like his kids or nothing like that. Just like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You should have made that kick. But hey, bro, you lost your job. That's good enough for me.
game. Now, to be fair, the narrative didn't just come out of thin air because Lamar has had moments in the postseason where he clearly needed to be better. But the level of scrutiny that one loss generated compared to what he had just done in the regular season tells you a lot about how the media evaluated him differently from the start. The chip on his shoulder from draft night just got a lot heavier after that exit. And for the next 3 years, everything that came with being one of the faces of the league, the pressure, the injuries, and the constant skepticism, was going to test him in ways the 2019 MVP race never could. The 2020 season kicked off with a milestone Jackson had never reached before he finally took down the Titans in the playoffs. During that wildcard matchup, he tore through the defense for 136 yards and a score on the ground. He
Okay.
managed to quiet the critics for exactly 1 week. That was the only break he got from the noise, and to date, the last interception the Ravens defense has forced in the playoffs. Everything fell
Damn.
apart in the divisional round against the Bills because the offense stalled out completely while Lamar struggled to find a rhythm with only 162 passing yards. Buffalo's defensive staff deserves credit for a masterclass in containment, as they effectively schemed away every explosive element that usually makes Baltimore dangerous. He finished that game with a pick six and left early due to a concussion. The Ravens didn't just lose 17-3, they looked entirely flat and lifeless against a Bills squad that appeared faster and much better prepared. This performance shifted the conversation from whether Jackson could win in January to a much more damaging question about whether the league had figured him out. The problem with that narrative is that it completely ignored what happened during the regular season. Lamar finished 2020 with over 2,700 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards, marking his second consecutive year hitting that rushing milestone as a QB. No other player in NFL history had ever accomplished that feat once, yet Jackson did it back to back while leading the Ravens to an 11-4 record in his starts. Even
Yes,
though the defense was up
sir.
and down, the team
Yes,
still managed to snag
sir.
11 wins because the offense refused to take a step back. None of those achievements got the credit they deserved because the media had already decided that January was the only month that mattered for his legacy. Then 2021 arrived and the Ravens went 7-5 when Lamar played but collapsed to an 8-9 finish overall, which was the first losing season since he took over the starting job due to his ankle injury. His passer rating dipped to 87 and his touchdowns fell to 16, but the game still showed an elite player who was simply trying to carry a roster that couldn't function without him. The following year felt like a repeat.
I do know that those years was like some of the worst years for us because we had no receiver, nigga. I think the most we had those years was what, Hollywood Brown.
To the same frustrations. Lamar missed 6 games with a knee injury in 2022, yet he still managed to go 8-4 as a starter, while accounting for 17 touchdowns in those 12 appearances. Missing the postseason in consecutive years is a tough pill to swallow for a player of his caliber, though. Then the injury-prone narrative started floating around. However, if you look at the bigger picture over those 3 seasons, the story is actually very simple. When Lamar Jackson was healthy and on the field, the Ravens were a winning football team. But the moment he went down, the entire structure collapsed. His record as a starter remained elite, while the team's record without him was bottom tier, which is the definition of a franchise player masking deep structural problems. While the public debated his ceiling, a much bigger fight was brewing behind the scenes regarding his future in Baltimore. Lamar was navigating the most important contract negotiation of his life without an agent, going head to head with one of the sharpest front offices in sports. In March of 2023, the football world stopped when Lamar took to Twitter to handle his own business. There was no PR team or high-priced agent to soften the blow. It was just Jackson telling everyone he had requested a trade because the Ravens weren't meeting his value. It was a wild moment to see the most dominant dual-threat QB in the world negotiating his future in real time on social media.
This nigga said, letter to my fans. I want to first thank y'all for the love to say love. I want to thank y'all for all the love. Thank you all for all of the love and support you consistently show me towards me. All of you. In regards to my future later, the second half requested a trade for the race and value. Even anyone that's not followed he won the Super Bowl. That looked great, but I had ambition, so it's best for my family and no matter how far I go in my career takes me, I'll continue to be close to my more fans, Fox Nation, the rest of the state of Maryland. They'll see me again.
All while every executive in the league watched from the sidelines. The Ravens used a non-exclusive franchise tag to see if anyone would bite, and while teams like the Colts and Patriots were rumored to be interested, no official offers ever came through. It seemed as though he was colluded against, especially since the Falcons were like, nah, we'll stick with Desmond Ridder. The price to acquire him was just too high for most teams to stomach, so both sides sat in a tense stalemate for weeks as the draft approached. Everything changed finally in late April when Jackson signed a massive 5-year extension worth $260 million. With $185 million guaranteed, he became one of the highest-paid players in NFL
That
history,
mania.
all without paying a single cent to an
Yeah,
agent.
so
All while
scheme.
becoming the highest deal negotiated without having an agent. You have to
That boy made that bread. See, that's why Lamar is an inspiration, bro. That boy made it out the trenches of Florida. And you know what he did? He didn't get no agent. He followed God and his mom. And he got that bag, yes, sir.
respect the sheer confidence it takes to walk into a room alone against a professional front office and walk out with a record-breaking deal. That negotiation proved that Lamar is a man who will always bet on himself regardless of the pressure. And once the money was settled, the focus shifted back to the field and the arrival of new offensive coordinator Todd Monken. Coming off back-to-back national titles at Georgia, Monken threw out the old run-heavy philosophy and replaced it with a modern spread-out passing attack. This was a direct response to the critics who claimed Jackson was a system QB who couldn't thrive in a traditional NFL offense. And Lamar was ready to prove him wrong again.
Why did they do that to that man? Why did they think about that? Women like that, bro.
Every single doubt that had been raised over the previous 3 years. Jackson set a career high by completing 67% of his passes, throwing for nearly 3,700 yards and leading the Ravens to a league-best 13-3 record. He walked away with the second MVP trophy after receiving 49 out of 50 first-place.
Y'all may say I'm crazy, but I'm gonna go ahead and put my bets in now, nigga. All chips on the table, nigga. Put it on full screen. Lamar Jackson is going to be the 2026 to 2027 NFL MVP. MV3. And he is going to win the Super Bowl. You niggas might say, oh, I'm capping and everything like that. Okay, we'll come see January. We will. We will. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat my shorts, nigga. It's fine. I got no problem being a man of my word and saying I'm wrong. But that nigga Lamar is going to win MVP and he's gonna win a bowl this year. Come with me. I think he is. Lamar, you see this? Hey nigga, I just lead you to plate, bro. All you gotta do is finish it.
Votes, making him the youngest player since the merger to win the award twice. The only person who didn't vote for him chose Josh Allen instead, but the dominance was undeniable. The most impressive part of that MVP run wasn't the trophy itself, but the way Lamar dismantled defenses from the pocket. He was winning games with his arm against the best teams in the league, proving that his passing ability was just as dangerous as his superpower on the ground. Defenses were stuck in a nightmare because they couldn't stack the box without getting burned deep, yet they couldn't play soft coverage without Jackson picking them apart underneath. The playoffs started off strong with a convincing win over the Texans, that also being Lamar's best playoff game to date. But the AFC Championship game against Kansas City became another chapter of what if. The first few drives were exciting, then it was a slugfest, and Baltimore was in a position to get back into the game late until Zay Flowers fumbled near the goal line.
Fumbled the fucking ball.
Shifted the momentum of the contest.
He fumbled the ball, bro. That's why I'm telling niggas we don't got a receiver. Telling niggas, bro. And I told niggas today, bro, we got one last bullet in the chamber, nigga. If Steve Biscotti or Steve Buscemi, whatever your name is, my guy, if you don't go out there and get Justin Jefferson, nigga, if you don't go out there and get somebody, I don't know, gang. Do something, bro. Lamar needs a receiver, bro. Let's keep it real. Lamar needs a receiver. And niggas gonna be, oh, it's enough excuses. It's enough excuses. We just got rid of our shiftiest tight end, which was Isaiah Likely. We kept Mark Andrews. Right? Gang. Yes, we had Max Crosby and Roquan Smith. These niggas is getting old. It's win now or we're fucked. I'm gonna keep it so real. We have no first rounds for the next 2 years. We have no first round picks for the next 2 years. So if we don't win a championship within the next 2 years, we might be fucked. I ain't gonna lie. We might be fucked.
Lamar put up 272 yards and an insane touchdown, but looked lost going against Patrick Mahomes, having multiple turnovers in that game. However, every time the world tries to count him out, Lamar comes back stronger and more refined than he was the year before. By the end of 2023, he had the massive contract, 2 MVP awards, and a resume that silenced the running back jokes forever. The only box left to check was the Super Bowl ring, and the 2024 season was supposed to be the moment that he finally reached the summit. What he actually did in 2024 was so statistically insane that it almost defies logic, even if it ended in the most painful way possible. Lamar's 2024.
Don't show me that shit, man. Don't show me that shit, nigga. Oh my gosh, why did he flash that shit on my fucking eyes? Why did he do that? Now he brought it all back, the memories. Oh my god. I need to say. I'm back. I composed myself. Shit was getting wicked.
Season stands as one of the most efficient years any QB has ever put together in NFL history. And that's not an opinion or a bias, that's just a fact. He finished the year with 4,172 passing yards and 41 touchdowns while only giving away 4 interceptions. And he added another 915 yards on the ground just for good measure. His 119.6 passer rating was the highest single season mark in league history. He became the first player ever to throw for 4,000 yards and rush for over 900 in a season, which is wild considering no one had even hit the 4,800 mark before he showed up. One of those records meant he did something entirely new, while the other required playing nearly mistake-free football, and he managed to pull off both at the exact same time. The guy who was told he couldn't actually play quarterback at this level is now one of the 3 most efficient passers to ever pick up a football, according to the most trusted metric we have. The Ravens finished the year at 12-5 and took home another AFC North title, with Jackson acting as the engine for everything they did on the field. However, when the MVP votes finally came in, he lost out to Josh Allen by a margin that people still argue about today. Josh obviously had a massive season, and nobody's trying to take that away from him, but Lamar's efficiency was objectively better.
Lamar should have won that MVP, right? And then niggas would have been like, fake ass MVP. Okay, but cool. The nigga was injured last year. Josh Allen wasn't injured. He just fucking sucks in the playoffs. He lost to Mahomes last year. He lost to Drake May this year. Drake May? Drake? Drake? Drake May. Drake had him in this Super Bowl. I don't know what I'm doing, man. Drake May.
Almost every major category that matters. His rating was higher, his TD to interception ratio was superior, and he was gaining more yards every time he let the ball fly. All while Lamar beat him head-to-head that season. The fallout from that vote highlighted a massive issue that has followed Jackson since he entered the league, is that he simply isn't evaluated the same way as his peers. Then we go to the playoffs, and Baltimore handled the Steelers in the wild card before hitting a wall in the divisional round, where they lost at 27-25.
Because of Mark Andrews.
Lamar actually played the best he'd ever played consistently in the playoffs, putting up 429 yards and 4 TDs over those 2 games with a 122.5 passer rating. But 2 first-half turnovers against the Bills flipped the field and put the Ravens in a hole they couldn't escape. Mark Andrews ended up dropping a 2-point conversion late in that game that would have tied things up, and the defense struggled as they gave up 27 points without forcing a single turnover.
I'll never forget, bro, watching this game, sitting down in my chair and like almost dead ass crying. Like I dead ass almost cried when they lost this game to Buffalo, bro. When this nigga Mark Andrews dropped that ball, hearing that nigga, nigga, I dead ass damn near cried. I'm a man enough to say I damn near cried. When they lost to the Steelers this year, you guys, y'all. Matter of fact, all right. So I was gonna call my girl in here, but she's not in here. So I damn near cried when they lost to the Steelers. I almost cried. If it wasn't for her being in the room, I would have cried. I'm being so for real, bro. And it's just because she was like, "Don't cry," and I was like, "Okay."
The 2025 season was about to make everything even more difficult to process. Heading into 2025, the Ravens looked like the clear favorites to win the Super Bowl. Lamar was healthy, Derrick Henry was back in the backfield, and the offensive roster was so in sync that the offense looked completely unstoppable when they were in rhythm. Baltimore was actually the highest scoring team in the league through the first 3 weeks, averaging 37 points a game, but then everything changed during a Week 4 trip to Kansas City. Lamar went down with a hamstring injury during that game, and from that point on, the entire season started spiraling in a direction nobody expected. He only missed 4 games total, but the real problem wasn't the time he spent on the sideline. It was the fact he was trying to play through a rotating door of injuries to his knee, ankle, toe, and back, all while
I
having
ain't
to
gonna lie, bro. That shit was dead ass kind of crazy. Like I was like, bro, I'm gonna be so real. Like if it wasn't for the fact that we was like I think we was what 8-8 or 8-9 before that last game, right? I think we was 8-9 and we lost. We became 8-10. I'm not sure. I think like the fact that shit like was like so crazy. Like this nigga was battling like week after week. Like this nigga was out for almost the entire year. You know what I'm saying? And Huntley, shout out Huntley, that nigga kept us afloat for a bit. You know what I'm saying? He did his best. I can't even cap. But it's just like the nigga was fighting injury after injury, and then he finally gets back healthy and he puts up the best game he can. Right? Um, let's check it out right quick. Let me make sure I'm not wrong. Right? 'Cause I don't think the nigga threw an interception that game. Ain't gonna show me the stats. The fuck? My nigga Lamar went 11 for 18, 238, 3 touchdowns, 3 sacks, 1 interception. This nigga A-Rod only had 1 touchdown, bro. Like, bro, I'm telling y'all, I dead ass almost cried when I seen that shit. Cause, bro, I truly believe maybe. But are you really telling me that last year, if Lamar wins that game, he's not making a playoff run? That first game versus the Texans, that nigga is putting up some points. You know what I'm saying? He's smoking Drake May. I ain't gonna lie to you. Jason Stidham? Get this guy out of here. Now, Seahawks, I ain't gonna lie. It's a different story. It's a different story. Different story. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. Seattle, I'm not gonna sit here and cap. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Baltimore's gonna beat y'all if we went to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. Y'all had a solid. Y'all was solid last year. We have no weapons to stop ASN. Besides Nate Wiggins, but he got to be in man coverage. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real.
the worst defenses in the league. You could see the toll it was taking on his game because his rushing attempts plummeted from 9 per game down to just 5, which marked the lowest of his entire career. Defenses started pinning their ears back and dropping everyone into coverage because they didn't fear him breaking a long run anymore, and the results were ugly. During a rough 6-game stretch in November and December, Jackson only averaged 177 passing yards and threw more interceptions than TDs. He actually went 3 straight games without a single passing score for the first time ever, marking the longest cold streak of his professional life at the exact moment the team needed him the most. The Ravens ended up finishing 8-9 and missed the postseason entirely. Shout out Tyler Loop. It didn't help that the offensive line was a disaster though, as he was sacked on nearly 10% of
It's still a family of my team, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and keep watching this nigga Daniel Falele be on my team. And we just traded our first round pick, so we gotta get somebody out of that second round. I ain't gonna lie. It sucks to suck, nigga, but hey, I love the gamble, gang. I love the gamble. Max Crosby, welcome to the Baltimore Ravens, bro.
his dropbacks and faced pressure on 37% of his plays. When your QB is already banged up and getting hit on every other snap, you don't need a crystal ball to figure out why the season failed. The situation got so bad that John Harbaugh was finally fired after 18 seasons in Baltimore. But even in a year that felt like a total loss, there was a moment in the season finale against Pittsburgh that reminded everyone who Jackson really is. With the Ravens trailing in the fourth quarter, he dropped back and uncorked a 50-yard touchdown to Zay Flowers.
Get off me!
Followed it up with a 64-yard strike on the very next drive. According to
Nigga.
ESPN research, only one other player in the history of the NFL had ever thrown 2 go-ahead touchdowns of that length in a single fourth quarter. That was Lamar Jackson playing through pain in his worst statistical season, still finding a way to be special when the game was on the line. Baltimore obviously still lost that game, but it was nice to see Lamar still had it. So let's put everything on the table and look at what the numbers actually tell us. His career passer rating sits at 102.2, which makes him tied for first all-time with Aaron Rodgers, and he currently holds the record for most rushing yards by a QB with over 6,500.
Ain't gonna lie. Do I feel like there's a QB that can beat this? Oh, for sure. I ain't gonna lie. These QBs nowadays, bro, like Jackson Dart or fuck Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams, any of those 3 might be able to break that nigga's record. I'm gonna keep it so real. Those 3 quarterbacks of this name are nice, bro. Even Tyler Shuck, that game he had against Carolina, this nigga really made me sit back and like, whoa. That game he had against Atlanta, I really was like, whoa. You feel me? This nigga Tyler Shuck kind of nice. Like, bro, there's some quarterbacks that if they train the right way and they turn out well and they develop into their abilities, they might have a shot at breaking this nigga's record. But my clear favorite to break this nigga's record for sure is Jaden Daniels. I think JD5, bro. A lot of niggas underestimate JD5 in Washington and everything because he was injured last year. Last year was literally just a bad year. Last year was literally like Baltimore in a way. I can't even cap. I'm gonna compare y'all just for this second. Beginning of the season, I think Terry McLaurin and Debo was out, right? Terry McLaurin and Debo's back. Terry's still out. JD5 is here. JD5 hasn't had a whole lot of time to work with Debo. So he's trying to get him. Austin Eckler goes down. Now they running with Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt. JD5 goes out. Terry McLaurin comes back. Terry McLaurin goes out. JD5 comes back. He's going out because he got that elbow injury. Like, bro, it was just a bad year for y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
Lamar is also the only player at his position to ever post 2 1,000-yard rushing seasons, all while holding the NFL record for the most perfect passer ratings in a single year with 4. On top of that, he has 7 career games where he finished with more touchdown passes than incompletions, which is more than anyone else in league history. He even became the first quarterback to ever throw 40 touchdowns while giving up fewer than 5 interceptions in a single season. The thing is, every single time someone said he couldn't do something, he went out and did it anyway. People claimed he couldn't play quarterback, yet he's played the position better than almost anyone ever has. And they said he couldn't throw, but now he's tied with Aaron Rodgers in pass.
Like, you know why I'm so not worried about this? I'm not even gonna let this nigga finish, bro. Put the camera on me. He's done. It's my turn to talk now. They said Lamar Jackson couldn't be a quarterback. He came in the league. Became one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They said he couldn't win in the playoffs. Nigga won in the playoffs. And now they're saying he can't win a Super Bowl. Guys, history tends to repeat itself. Just saying. Love y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and get up on out of here. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out, guys.
Yeah, damn, she got it, damn, yeah. And the cash is not something I do. Damn, she got it, damn, yeah. Had to match the praise cause I was true. Damn, she got it, damn, yeah. Fucked up in her head, I feel confused. Damn, she got it, damn, yeah. But so glad I ran back into you. I was scared you found somebody new. Ran off and had a child or two. I know I said I wasn't gonna stay, but don't pass the loud my way. Fuck with you, nigga, I'm cool. I need you around. I need you around. Fuck with your nigga, I'm going through things. Gray hairs on my head mean I know a few things. I bought an iPhone that travels through time. FaceTime and got younger me on the line. Soon as he saw me, he just started crying. I told him relax, everything gon' be fine. He wiped off his face, said he tryna be strong, but some days he feel like he doing it wrong. I told him hold on and passed out my phone to my oldest son and my youngest one. Said I want you to look them straight in their face. Do that look like you been making mistakes. Fame is a drug you was chosen to take. Unfortunately can't be sober and great. You're just like a flower the world wanna hold. They sniff on your petals until you get old and then they dispose. A new flower grows, can't take a person, know that just how I go. Soon you gon' notice your high coming down, and that's the point that I call you from now. This is the fall off, I'm falling off how the rappers do when they can't find a new sound. Missing the day they was hot all year round, but life is a film that cannot be rewound. Life is a film that cannot be rewound. Life is a film that cannot be rewound.